it's kind of a full circle moment for me. Obviously, being drafted here and being part of this organization, I think, to me personally, the greatest organization in the NFL was an absolute honor. Green Bay, it feels like home to me for more than one reason. Obviously, getting drafted and winning a Super Bowl and all that here, I mean, that's part of it. But I think coming here as a 21-year-old, really had no responsibility besides play football and worry about myself and just kind of dialing on that. And then, becoming a man here, getting married, having kids, make relationships outside of this building. It felt like home from the minute I stepped on here till I left in 2020. And I think that's why, for me, it's kind of like a full circle moment coming back and ending my journey here. I haven't played in a few years, whatever it may be, but to make it official as a Green Bay Packer, to me means the most. Because it's truly where I felt I belong, where I felt the most comfortable, where it felt like home and family. So for me, it truly is a special moment, and one that I've wanted to make happen for a while, and fortunately it mirrored up right now. So very thankful to Mark Murphy and Goody for making this work. And there's a couple people I do want to thank, and I'm probably going to forget someone, so I apologize. But obviously, start right away with Ted Thompson. Took a gamble on a short arm, small-handed guy from Iowa. Probably not the greatest 40 time and stuff like that, but select me in the first round, and I will be forever grateful for that. And hell of a guy. Got the times that he actually wanted to talk to me. Ted was a man of few words. So for the times that I did get to speak to him, he's a hell of a guy to be around. So I'm very thankful. Next would be Coach McCarthy. Obviously, I got to, start fairly early on in my rookie season when Tausch went down, but he trusted me to go in and play at a high level at a position I'd never played. So it was kind of a, putting a lot of faith in me to go out there and do a job. And, so very thankful for him and giving me my first opportunity to do that, which leads me right into, Coach Campen. To be honest with you, couldn't have had a better offensive line coach as a young guy in this league. The O-line room, obviously, as many of you guys know and reported on our O-line room when I was here. It's a pretty good time. We had a lot of laughs, had a lot of characters in it. It was a great room to be a part of. But him personally, is just not as a coach, but as a friend, really helped my development from a young kid not knowing much to where I ended. So a lot of thanks and praise to him. And probably he and I are still great friends. So have to give a lot of credit to Coach Camp. Next would be the strength staff. Mark, Lavatt, Thad, Gizzy, Grant, spent a lot of time with those guys getting, my body right before season, in season, and, a lot of this stuff that we do throughout a week and throughout a season isn't possible without those guys. Next, probably the most important, knowing my journey and kind of all the injuries I've had, the training staff, Flea, Nate, Andrew. Unfortunately, Dr. McKenzie, I spent a lot of time with him, awake and not awake under anesthesia. But, my path took me to spend a lot of time in there, and everyone's journey is different. But I will say that there's no better group of guys that take care of you than them. I mean, you go in there and you never want to be in the training room, and you want to be available, you want all that, but guys go through things and guys get hurt. And it felt like after, so much time that those guys were like family to me. I spent so much time with them. They looked after me as if I were a family member and treated me so well and treated my family well, especially, I think after my second ACL surgery, I think Doc McKenzie was carrying around Cameron, or I think so, around the hospital because she was freaking out. So just a great group of guys, and I'm very thankful for them for getting me back out in the field when I'd get nicked up, and owe a lot to those guys. Obviously, Adam with nutrition, one of the best dudes, just fantastic. The equipment staff, Red, T-Bone, Nels, Gruber. I'm sure Red's like sick and tired of was sick and tired of me like having to come back with my helmet after every practice. Like, Red, it doesn't fit right, and he'd have to mess with it, put more air in it. Blame my dad for that. That happened back in like Pee Wee grade school. Be fitting my helmet and blowing it up with air. Is it too tight? Is it, But nah. Next would be, and I only spent a year with them. It's the current coaching staff here. Steno, Butkus, and LaFleur. 17 and 18, we were not a good team. Everyone's very well aware of that. We 2 straight years didn't make the playoffs, and new staff comes in, and a guy that was here for a while, you may think, time to wean that guy out of here. He's not really, may not buy in or fit the mold. And there wasn't a lot of fun being had in the building for 2 years in 2017 and 18. We were not a playoff team, losing a lot of games, and these guys came into a locker room that had a lot of talented players, had a lot of winners on the team, but just we kind of lost our way winning. And they came in and made football, fun again for us. And I give a lot of praise to those guys because it's tough going into a locker room with a lot of veteran guys and getting these guys' mentalities to change and switch and buy into something new. And they were able to do it, and they made it fun. And, I enjoyed, for my last year here, it was some of the most fun I had playing football. So a lot of thanks to them. Now I'll go on to the guys that I played with. Obviously, coming in as a rookie, I got to learn from 2 of the best, and Cliff and Tausch. I know Tausch got hurt, and I kind of jumped in for him. He still gives me crap about it today, but that's life in the NFL. It happens to everyone, unfortunately. But I got to learn from those 2 guys, right off the bat, how to be a pro, how to go about doing your job, and that was great for me as a young kid to see how 2 obviously Packer Hall of Fame guys got to go to work every day. So that to me was awesome. And then obviously who I think, I'll go down the list, but who I think is the best Packer offensive line in Green Bay history with TJ, Josh, Dave, and Corey. I got to play with those guys, be around those guys every day, and we pushed each other to be great. And I really appreciate and love those guys. Spend a lot of time with them off the field, on the field. Our families were close, and it was a great brotherhood and bond that we had, and we pushed each other to be good. So I owe a lot to those guys. And finally, obviously, Aaron. I'd like to think from time to time we made Aaron look good. Maybe some people would disagree. Maybe some, it is what it is. But he made us look good a lot, and he made our jobs sometimes more difficult than it should be, but sometimes that was good for us. But without his amazing play and everything, like a lot of us, could have just been average. Maybe we would have been great, who knows, but being able to block for a Hall of Fame quarterback and experience what it's like to watch greatness and be a part of greatness with him, something I'll always be appreciative of. And obviously, finally, get to my family, my parents. Obviously, this isn't like a big retirement speech that I'm going to go into. Thanks for driving me to Pee Wee football practice and all that. I'm not going to get into that, but just for supporting me over the years and making sure that I had everything I needed growing up. And then obviously once I got into college and supporting and all that, I couldn't thank you enough. And kind of making sure that I stayed straight and narrow until obviously Abby came into my life, and then it turned into she kept me on the straight and narrow. And then there was being an NFL wife isn't easy. There's a lot that goes into it, especially when, for myself, I had a lot of injuries, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of positive pep talks at the house and things like that, a lot of stuff that happens when you have surgery and you can't get up and you need help getting up and using the bathroom and things like that. So she was pretty good with that, helping me out and making sure I can get from point A to point B. But then, to be honest with you, just being a rock in the household. I know that's something that every year the ladies would have a big luncheon with Russ Ball, and he would say things like, make sure, everything is good at the house. And she did it every year. We'd have a house full of people. It was almost like a bed and breakfast because we were so close to home. And she kept everything running smooth, and no stress was ever given here. It was always, she took the brunt of most of it. I just came to work and went home every day, and she handled a lot of it. And obviously once kids came into the picture, that changes your perspective on everything. But then at the same time, she took on that burden more than I can even explain. So thank you. And that's all I got for my thank yous and speeches. I'll open it up to questions, and hopefully I can answer some of them if I'm capable.
Matt said, congratulations first of all, good to see you. Matt said you spoke to the guys today, I think after practice. What was your message, and when you played, do you remember anybody coming in and leaving you with, similar type of message?
I don't recall anyone ever coming to talk to us. I mean, obviously with Coach McCarthy, it was a little bit different than I think that Matt does it. But what I told him, it was, it's cliche and it's things like that. But times weren't always good for even us when we were here. Like I said, I mentioned 2017 and 18. We went through some hard times, but the thing that we believed in that locker room with the guys that we had, that we could come out of the other side better than what we were in right now, and we trusted in each other and we stuck together. There was never any finger pointing. There was never any getting down on each other. We knew we had the guys. We just needed to pull it together and get it together, and we eventually did, and obviously won a lot of games the following year and this and whatnot. So my message with them was stick together during this. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to go the way you want. But if you guys hold together, keep fighting for each other, fighting for the guys you have in the huddle, you'll come out of this better.
As a competitive guy, what do you do to, congratulations, Bryan. As a competitive guy, what do you do to kind of fill that niche?
Oh, well, I mean, I try to play golf. I'm not very good at it. So I do that, but I think what fills my competitive, I was watching my son play soccer and flag football, that kind of fuels my competitive edge because I can't do it anymore, so I got to watch him do it. So I enjoy watching him play, and my daughter just got into some recreational soccer. That's, if anyone's gone to rec soccer games, those are really fun. But no, I think see golf and then watching him play sports, I think I get more joy out of watching him play sports than I ever did playing, because it's fun to watch him grow and develop. But golf and kids sports, it's a really fun life, let me tell you.
The guys at Oneida want to know what your current index is.
Ooh, my current index, I think I'm at what am I? Last revision I was at a 9.5. So it's not very good. It's certainly not at my Oneida level, so I'll put it that way, when I was playing out there, taking all their money.
What do you miss, Bryan?
I miss the locker room. I miss the guys. I miss the camaraderie. Sundays, I mean, it's hard to replicate Sundays and the feeling you get going out there in front of all the fans on Lambeau. I mean, it's hard. You'll never replicate it because it's awesome. But the thing you miss is the locker room, the guys, the camaraderie, the O-line dinners, the meeting rooms, the BSing, all that. That's literally the hardest part of walking away, is knowing that you're not in that little group anymore. You're excluded from the group. Yeah, you may be in a group text, but you're not there doing it. So I think, to me, that's probably the toughest part. I mean, I love watching the games now, especially being a few years removed. Last year was tough. I didn't like to watch too many games, but this year I watch way more and enjoy it. But it's always going to be the guys in the locker room. That's the thing that's the toughest and the thing that I miss the most.
What's the emotion that you feel when you think about the Packers?
Well, I mean, I love the team. It doesn't matter, when I was in LA or I'm back now. I love the team. I love the organization. I want them to do well. I watch the games. I'm screaming at my TV because I want them to do well. I do the radio thing now, so I have to be critical in some standpoint. I have to be honest with it, because I do watch it again. And I'm honest, and I give an opinion and break it down. But at the end of the day, I'm truly very biased, and I want them to do well, and I want them to win, and I want them to succeed, because I still played with some of the guys that are on the team. Kenny, Jair, Preston, Elton. So I want those guys to succeed and do well and win. I want them to be as good as we were when we were here. Obviously, with the new quarterback and kind of the burden that was placed on him from the following two guys that were here, it's tough sledding. But you want guys to succeed and do well, and I want the same for this team. So I love the team. I love watching them. You know, at times you get frustrated, and you know it is what it is. But that's football, and you know, obviously very thankful as well for the opportunity that I was given here for 10 years.
Bryan, the fans took a lot of joy in your Sunday Night Football, Bryan Bulaga, Iowa. And as you look at the rest of your life and the time right now, Bryan Bulaga, Green Bay Packer, what does that mean to you to retire as a Packer and have that, what you'll be known for?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I don't think people are going to ever let me live down the Bryan Bulaga, Iowa, ever, which is fine. I think it's funny. But to me, this is where I feel like I belong, right? Like being a Green Bay Packer is what I loved being. I'm not saying like I'm, you know, not the guy that's going to tell the war stories 50 years from now. Like, I remember the time I was. No, I'm not going to do that. But it's an honor to, you know, play for this team and be able to wear that G on your helmet and go out on that field and play every week and you know, be part of this storied franchise's history. It means everything. So for me, it's just a lot of emotions, but more just thankful, grateful, honored, humbled. I mean, I can give a lot of words for it, but to me, this is where, you know, I felt like I was whole as not a football player, but you know, as a person when I was here.
Bryan, congratulations on your career.
Thank you.
Are you giving any thought to what's next for you? Do you want to stay in tune with the game, or are you content to just kind of watch from afar?
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I don't. I mean, I love the game. I don't plan on getting into coaching. I know what these guys do. It's way they do a lot, and they're here a long time. Right now, like I enjoy doing the radio gig with Homer and with Wildy and Tausch. Like I enjoy doing that with them, and that may be something that I pursue a little bit more as I grow into that and get more comfortable with it. This is my first year doing it. I'm kind of a rookie, so trying to learn the ropes a little bit. I try to pick Tauscher's brain on that, but I don't know if he's given me as much insight this year as he did when I was a rookie playing. I don't think he's given me as much as he has to offer on that, but that's all right. But I enjoy that because I enjoy, from my perspective, being able to watch games and give, you know, my opinion on it. No, not everyone agrees with everyone's opinion, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. I like to do the call-in stuff with Homer. And there's some people that just absolutely do not like my opinion, and that's okay, and that's fun. That's what, to me, that's fun, and I enjoy it. A little friendly banter never hurt anyone. So I think I'll continue to pursue that as long as they'll have me and kind of see where that goes from there. And then obviously part-time Uber driver for the kids. So that'll be something else I do.
Bryan, when you look back at the 2010 Super Bowl run, what comes to mind? Because obviously you got thrown into the mix mid-season. What comes to mind when you look back on that run?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really realize what was happening until we beat the Eagles in that first round playoff game. And I remember we were sitting on the bench, and Cliffy, he looked at me, he goes, man, this doesn't happen every day. Like, we have a really good team. We're hot. Like, at the end of the season, we got hot. And he's like, you know, going to Philly against one of the better teams in the league, and you kind of took care of them. We didn't blow them out by any stretch, but, like, it was a comfortable win. At least we felt it was, you know, in the locker room. And he goes, this kind of stuff doesn't happen every year. So just kind of start enjoying this and taking this playoff run. Then we go to Atlanta, kind of destroy them. And then against Chicago, win that one. And it was a surreal kind of feeling because, like, at the time, I was just trying to stay above water as a rookie. I'm blocking for Aaron Rodgers. I'm playing across the line full of veterans. I'm the youngest guy. I'm just trying not to, like, get Aaron killed while playing a new position and then making sure I don't screw something up. So then Sitton's not mad at me because, you know, if I screw something up, then he'll be mad. And then, you know, so I was trying to just keep my head above water, do my job as best I could. So I wasn't really paying attention to the playoff standings or where I could have been. I just wanted to make sure that every week I was, you know, I could be relied upon and be a good teammate. So once we got into the playoffs and we started winning, I started to kind of open my eyes a little bit. Like, this is surreal. We're making this run, and I'm a rookie doing it, and I have no idea what I'm even doing. But here we go. Like, we're winning playoff games one after another, and obviously once we get to the Super Bowl and win that, it was absolutely like crazy. I mean, it's hard to put into words. And unfortunately, we never got back to another one, but it was just, it was probably one of the coolest moments ever because as a rookie, you're, like I said, I was just trying to stay above water, and then you end up winning the whole thing, and it's just a surreal, awesome deal.
I was talking with Dave before the season, and he was basically saying how he's enticed by retirement because he saw how much less miserable you were. Would you agree with that assessment of yourself?
Dave, he has a way with words. He has a way with words. I will say this, and guys probably don't give that much insight to it. At least I never did when I was playing. Like it's very stressful. Like and I think the better team you are, the more stressful it gets. And obviously blocking for Aaron, like obviously it was amazing to do it, but there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of anxiety that goes with that because if we don't do our job up front, like it's not happening back there, and there's a lot of spotlight on that. Like if it can't be Aaron, it's got to be the guys in front of him. So there was a lot of anxiety and stress with that came along with that. So in which when you're playing, you kind of you absorb that in, you use that as positive energy or try to use it as positive energy and go play well. But when you step back from it and you're not doing it, and that stressor's not there anymore, and you're watching other guys have that stress on them, it feels a little bit better. Like I'm not gonna lie. What was it? Probably Aaron's last year, and I'm watching the guys block for him, and the year didn't go well, but I could just because I had those years in 2017 and 18, I could just feel how stressful that probably was. So I just kind of looked at it as like, as much as I kind of fed off the stress and fed off the anxiety of it. And, obviously you have a bad game, you go home, it sucks. And, everyone kind of knew it and you don't want to talk to anyone. But the joy of when you would play well and win a game and, kind of the different energies it brings in your life between winning and losing. I'm happy that I'm now away from it because now I can just watch a football game and feel the same exact way I did when I turned it on as when I turned it off. So, but Dave, like I said, he's got a good way with words, but there's certainly stressors to everyone's job that everyone has. But I just don't think football players share their stressors as much as they probably don't want to, or I never talked about it when I was playing because everyone's like, just shut up and play. Like I got it, I know I will, but no, it's certainly a relief. We'll put it that way.
How you doing? Like we've seen Dave struggle. You kind of wonder what he's going to be like. We've all talked to him about it. Obviously, you had some tough times too. How you doing physically and all that?
Physically, I feel good. Lost a lot of weight, so that took a lot of heat off my back and knees. So that was good. My shoulder's an issue, but it's been an issue for a while. But hurts my golf swing, Rob. And that's why my handicap's up. That's what I like to blame on my shoulder. It's not just because I lost it. It's because my shoulder hurts. But physically, from knees and back and things like that, I feel really good being able to get the weight off. And I like to run, if that's like crazy enough to hear. Like I hated to run. Now that I've lost weight, I don't mind running. It's not long, but a couple miles. I feel pretty good. But yeah, I think if I'd still be 300 pounds. Probably wouldn't be doing too hot with the joints if I had to take a guess. But now that that's gone, I feel much better.
Obviously, this Packers team is quite young, and you said you spoke to some of the guys, but you were thrown in as a rookie, and it was all crazy. If you could talk just to the rookies or just to the young guys, what would you say to them?
Yeah, if I would just say put your head down and work. Like that's literally what I did as a rookie. I just not kept to myself, but just put my head down, accept the criticism, accept the coaching that you're getting, and just keep your head down, learn and improve. Because that's the way I looked at it. Like I said, I was on a line full of veterans, and Cliff, Darren College, Wells, and Sitton, and then me, and it was a veteran group, and it was kind of the way I looked at it is I don't want to let these guys down. they've all been doing this for a long time, and they're all really good, and that line was really good if you look at it across the board, and I didn't want to let anyone down. So it was just kind of just keep your head down, work, and when you get out there on Sundays, just go out there and give it 110% every time. Like, don't take a play off, or don't dog it on a play, or if you think, oh, you know, this play doesn't really involve me, I can do X, Y, and Z, or I could take it easy here. Like, everything's got to be 110%, and that's what I would say, because that's the way I looked at it. Like, I didn't know any other way, and each guy's different. Each guy approaches things differently, but that's just kind of would be my message. And again, that's another thing that sounds very cliche. Work hard, I know, yeah, but it's harder, you know, easier said than done when you're in the heat of things, and things may not be going your way. Obviously, for some of the young guys that are being thrown in this year, it's not going perfect all the time, and it's easy to have kind of like, you know, put your head down a little bit and not stay positive. But, you know, if you kind of grind through these tough times, it'll be good for you. It'll pay off.